Another really hot topic is whether or not carbs make you fat. And this really is so individual. So it really requires a little bit of detective work, but with a little bit of detective work, you can really nail it down and optimize your weight loss. So let's talk about the two ends of the spectrum, okay? I see people who are either grossly undereating or grossly overeating. So let's talk about the undereating population first. For people who have been dieting for a long time or have gone very low carb for long periods of time, what happens is your body thinks that you are in starvation mode. It thinks that it should power down, in other words, in simple terms. So your thyroid shuts down, your adrenals shut down, your energy's low, and your body gets used to the low calories and requires you to lower and lower and lower your calories, okay? And your metabolism breaks down a little bit, it shuts down. And so to restart and reignite, you actually have to diet up. And the first thing you want to do when you're dieting up is increase your carbohydrate levels, so that, and the grams and the servings that you're eating, so that you may gain a little weight, and that's normal because that will fix the problem long term. But number two, you want to make sure that you are optimizing your thyroid, and your thyroid can start to function again and start to detox and help with your energy and do all the things that your thyroid's supposed to do, so you don't feel depressed, you feel energized, you can lose weight, all these great things. Number two, if you are overeating carbs, then it is a great idea to cut down. And I like to get people down to, if someone's been eating 300 grams a day, I get them down to 200, then to 100 or 150, depending on activity levels, okay? I don't typically have a lot of people under 100 grams of carbs. Keto is about 50 grams. I like people to be able to sustain things, so I keep them around 100 grams of carbs, 120 to 30 if you're super active and you're lifting heavily. Again, this is general, okay? If I'm working with you personally, I calculate this out for you personally. But if you want to have some starting point, this is a fantastic guideline of where to start. And if you say, well, I don't know how many grams I eat a day, you can go to MyFitnessPal. You can go on so many apps and just count the grams of carbs that you're eating, okay? But you're going to want to cut down, and you're going to want to do some intermittent fasting if you're very obese too, because that will reset your insulin sensitivity and your insulin receptors, and cutting down on carbs will improve your blood sugar balance and force you to eat a lot more things like vegetables, which are lower carbs, and good proteins and fats to stabilize your blood sugar. So you see, it's so individual. Now, some people say, I feel better on carbs the first half of the month than the second half of the month. The first half of your cycle, you are far more insulin sensitive. You can eat that extra serving of potatoes. You can have extra carbs post-workout and feel really, really good. The second half of the month is when things go wonky. Your progesterone bottoms out, your estrogen can drop as well, and your insulin sensitivity gets all out of whack. And so you're craving more, you require sometimes double the amount of protein for up to 3 days during your cycle or the second half. And so you're going to want to really actually cut your carbs and increase your protein the second half of your cycle. So it's a complicated subject. It does require a little detective work. But if you start dialing in and kind of consistently eating carbs or cutting back on carbs or adding them in, depending on your starting point, your body will adjust. And your body will be able to burn fat much more efficiently when you're in the right carb zone, the Goldilocks zone, okay? If you want more information on this, I suggest you pick up my book, Cave Women Don't Get Fat. And I go into a whole discussion there on finding your own unique carb tolerance, what works exactly for you over the long term. And this is going to change throughout your life. It's going to change through perimenopause and menopause and postmenopause. It depends on how active you are, if you're lifting weights or not lifting weights, you're sedentary, but it's a fantastic guidepost. So let me know how it goes for you, and thanks for tuning in.